Hello and welcome to Algorithm Integrity Matters. Insights for financial services leaders who want to enhance fairness and accuracy in their use of data, algorithms, and AI. I'm your host, Yusuf Mullah. This article was published in November 2024, and it's titled Bridging the Purpose Risk Gap, Customer-First Algorithmic Risk Assessments. Quick background to this, ASIC released a report recently. So ASIC is the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, a regulatory body here in Australia. They released a report titled Beware the Gap, Governance Arrangements in the Face of AI Innovation. One of the things that they found in reviewing a sample of licensees, so that's financial services providers, around how they're using and planning to use AI is that some of those providers assessed risks through the lens of the business rather than the consumer. And I've seen this quite a few times with various organizations, both public sector in terms of business versus citizen focused risks, and also the private sector, business versus customer-centric risk. And there's obviously good rationale for that. There's a whole range of things that I'll talk about in this article. But essentially, if we can continuously think about and come back to customer-centric focus when doing our risk assessments, it will better align with the purpose that is stated for many banks and insurers. It's a shorter episode. The article's a bit shorter than the others that we've had over the last few weeks, but really important concept. So here we go. Banks and insurers sometimes lose sight of their customer-centric purpose statements when assessing AI risks, focusing instead on business concerns and regulatory obligations. Regulators are noticing this disconnect. This article aims to outline why the disconnect happens and how we can fix it. By reframing risk assessments, we can better serve customers and align with our purpose. What regulators are saying. A recent ASIC report on AI governance, so it's report 798, and there's a link to that I'll put in the show notes, highlights a concerning trend. So ASIC again, the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, a regulatory body. ASIC reviewed how a sample of licensees, that's financial services providers, are using and planning to use AI. The review considered how they are identifying and mitigating consumer risks and their governance arrangements. In the resulting report, one of the findings related to the perspective used in assessing risks. So finding 5 of the report says, some licensees assessed risks through the lens of the business rather than the consumer. We found some gaps in how licensees assessed risks, particularly risks to consumers that are specific to the use of AI, such as algorithmic bias. This observation underscores the need for financial services organizations to refocus their risk assessments on customer outcomes. Let's talk a bit about financial services purpose statements. A consistent theme among purpose statements from major banks and insurers is that customers are either the priority or even the singular focus. Common elements of a lot of those purpose statements include things like improving customers' financial well-being, providing exceptional customer service, building trust and long-term relationships, or empowering customers to achieve their financial goals. It should follow, naturally, that risk assessments focus on customers, so protecting customers, maintaining customer value, etc. But based on the finding in the ASIC report, and anecdotally, this sometimes goes awry. Why we deviate from our purpose? There are several reasons for the deviation. Among them are these 5. Number 1, operational priorities. Immediate tangible risks often take precedence, especially when we have limited resources. Number 2, specific regulations. A focus on individual regulatory requirements can overshadow broader considerations. Number 3, complexity. Algorithmic risks can seem complex, leading to a narrow focus on technical aspects. Number 4, conversion. Purpose statements are often high level and can be difficult to translate into operational terms. Number 5, maturity. As algorithmic risks emerge, initial risk responses may rely on theoretical, templated risk frameworks. This is all understandable, and this is nothing new. We have competing priorities, we get sidetracked, we have lots of regulations to deal with. But we must recognize this, work to better balance these, and get back to our purpose. Realigning with purpose. To bridge this gap, we need to consider our purpose from various angles. Now, everything can flow indirectly or directly from customer. But the link is not always easy to make, and so it helps to break it down a bit. Typically, this would be customer as the focal point, regular/internal business risk, and then compliance and regulatory expectations. Let's consider what this could be for fairness, one of the 10 key aspects of algorithm integrity that we spoke about in another episode. A business-focused risk statement might be, algorithmic systems may not comply with anti-discrimination regulations, exposing the organization to legal and reputational risks. A customer-focused risk statement might be, algorithmic systems may discriminate against certain customer segments, thereby not treating customers fairly. A purpose-aligned statement could be, how we manage fairness in algorithmic systems may result in the following 3. Firstly, discriminating against certain customer segments, thereby not treating customers fairly. That's the customer angle. Overcompensating for fairness, resulting in ineffective practices. So for example, if we drop age when calculating an insurance premium, our pricing could be too low for the associated risk. And then lastly, not meeting human rights obligations or other related regulatory expectations. Rinse and repeat for the other aspects of algorithm integrity. Some, like privacy, may not need to change. By systematically assessing algorithm risks with a customer-centric focus, we can create a framework that aligns with our stated purpose while continuing to manage regular business risks and meet regulatory expectations. As AI and algorithmic systems continue to evolve, maintaining this perspective will help us innovate sustainably for long-term success. By prioritizing customer outcomes in our risk assessments, we can ensure that our use of algorithms truly aligns with and serves our purpose. That's the end of the article. Thanks for listening.